Discipline and motivation are common terms in the world of personal development, but have you ever stopped to think about the differences between them? Both are essential in the pursuit of success, yet they work in very distinct ways. Motivation is like a surge of energy that appears and propels us, usually inspired by external factors, like an inspiring speech or an uplifting video. It's intense but fleeting, like the urge we feel when starting something new. However, just as quickly as motivation arrives, it fades, leaving space for discipline to take over. Discipline, on the other hand, is a steady force, less reliant on emotions and more focused on consistency. It's what drives us forward on both good and bad days, acting as a stable and enduring pillar. When the initial excitement wears off, discipline keeps us on course, sustaining daily practices and helping us build habits. Psychologist and author Charles Duhigg illustrates this in The Power of Habit, explaining how the brain saves energy by turning repetitive actions into habits. This is what makes discipline so powerful. It enables us to act consistently, even without that initial emotional push. So, if motivation is the spark that jolts us out of inertia, discipline is the fuel that keeps us going on the journey. True success doesn't rely solely on that initial burst of enthusiasm, but rather on the constancy that only discipline can provide. But if motivation can't sustain the journey alone, what role does it actually play? Answering this question takes us to the next topic. Motivation is like that spark that awakens us to a new goal. It emerges from a momentary inspiration. It might come from a powerful speech, a memorable quote, or even the story of someone who overcame great challenges. This type of impulse can push us out of our comfort zone and ignite the desire for change. It's the energy we feel when we decide to start going to the gym, learning something new, or pursuing a long-postponed dream. Motivation is powerful, but also volatile. The issue with motivation is that it relies on external factors and our emotional state, which often makes it short-lived. Picture someone who starts a diet with immense enthusiasm. For the first few days, they feel excited and committed. But as challenges arise, such as a party with irresistible desserts or a stressful work week, the initial motivation begins to wane. Soon, without something more substantial to hold onto, it fades, and the person may revert to old habits. In The Power of Habit, Duhigg emphasizes that motivation alone is insufficient to create lasting changes. The initial motivation is indeed important, but without a solid foundation, it becomes merely a phase of euphoria. This is why many people abandon their plans once the excitement passes. This cycle of highs and lows creates frustration and often leads to giving up. The sensation of constantly starting and stopping hinders personal growth, and at this point, many realize that motivation alone is not enough. To overcome these limitations, it's essential to use motivation strategically, as a catalyst for taking the first step, but not to rely exclusively on it. A practical example is creating an anchor that reminds us of the larger purpose, something that keeps the desire alive even on difficult days. Yet, if motivation is fleeting, what sustains the journey to the end? This is where discipline comes into play, with its fundamental role in building a successful and consistent life. Discipline is the real force behind any journey of self-discovery and personal growth. Unlike motivation, which depends on inspiring moments, discipline is a continuous practice, sustained regardless of mood or circumstances. It's what drives us to take action, even when enthusiasm fades. Think of a high-performing athlete. They don't train only on days when they feel motivated. They train every day, creating a pattern of consistency that, over time, becomes second nature. Discipline acts as a bridge between desire and achievement. It leads us to transform big goals into small daily steps, creating a solid structure for our evolution. When someone commits to reading 10 pages of a book a day, for example, discipline allows that practice to become a habit. Over time, they'll realize that, even without relying on initial motivation, reading has already become part of their routine. Small actions, repeated daily, lay the foundation for success and form lasting habits. In The Power of Habit, Duhigg explains that the brain turns repetitive actions into automatic routines, saving energy and making them easier to carry out. Discipline enables this transformation. By practicing an action consistently, it stops being an effort and becomes natural. This is crucial for any process of personal change. When discipline takes root, tasks like waking up earlier, eating well, or studying no longer feel like an internal struggle and instead become part of daily life. The true power of discipline lies in its ability to withstand emotional fluctuations and obstacles. It helps us keep going on both good and bad days, during moments of fatigue or discouragement. A disciplined person understands that each action, no matter how small, contributes to a larger goal. This commitment builds a sense of self-control and self-confidence, as consistent practice eventually leads to concrete results. And as those results start to appear, the desire to continue grows even stronger. Discipline, then, is the foundation for success because it helps us maintain momentum regardless of difficulties. But how can we combine the steadiness of discipline with the energy of motivation? This is the secret to maximizing results, and it's what we'll explore next. Combining discipline and motivation is like pairing fire with fuel. Together, they create a renewable energy source that sustainably drives personal growth. While motivation can serve as a catalyst that sparks the desire for change, discipline sustains progress by keeping focus and consistency. Think of motivation as the act of starting a car engine and discipline as the fuel tank that keeps it moving toward its destination. By using both, we can take the first step and keep going, even on days when excitement is not at its peak. An effective way to integrate discipline and motivation is by alternating moments of inspiration with practical actions, such as creating a routine to visualize goals at the beginning of the week. Visualizing achievements fuels desire, while concrete actions, like a daily checklist, maintain discipline. For instance, someone who wants to improve their health could set weekly goals and a workout schedule, using inspiring photos and motivational messages to remind them of their purpose. This way, motivation is renewed throughout the journey, and discipline ensures the goals are achieved. Another method is to set short and long-term goals. Short-term goals act as motivation boosters, providing small wins that generate enthusiasm, while long-term goals are sustained by discipline. Imagine someone who wants to learn to play guitar. Initially, they set small goals, like learning one chord per week. Each accomplishment renews their sense of achievement and motivation. Over time, the discipline of practicing every day solidifies their learning, and the motivation to see progress reinforces the habit of playing. Visual tools, like progress charts and weekly rewards, also help maintain the balance between discipline and motivation. Creating a list of weekly achievements and challenges provides a clear view of progress, motivating us to continue. Rewarding oneself for small accomplishments, like a relaxing afternoon after a productive week, keeps motivation high without losing discipline. This system creates a virtuous cycle, where discipline and motivation strengthen each other. By combining discipline and motivation, we establish a self-sustaining process in which the initial energy of motivation is renewed as discipline maintains steady progress. This balance is key to maximizing results, and in the next section, we'll look at how to apply it practically in daily life to turn theory into action. Now that we understand the roles of discipline and motivation, it's time to turn these ideas into practical action. To build a life based on discipline, the first step is to set clear, specific goals. Instead of broad goals like, I want to be healthier, choose measurable objectives, such as, I want to walk for 30 minutes every day. Being clear about what you want to achieve helps create a daily roadmap and increases commitment, making it easier to start a consistent habit that, over time, becomes automatic. Another essential step is to break down large goals into small daily tasks. If the goal is to read more, for example, instead of planning to read a book a month, start with read 10 pages a day. This approach reduces pressure and makes the habit more sustainable. Charles Duhigg, in The Power of Habit, suggests that small, daily actions help the brain create an automatic routine, allowing disciplined practice to happen naturally. This gradual approach avoids overwhelm, making the path smoother and easier. Creating a tracking system is fundamental to maintaining discipline and noticing progress. Use a planner, an app, or a journal to record daily actions and monitor advancement. By tracking habits, it's easier to identify successful days and areas for improvement. This reinforces commitment and provides a sense of accomplishment. Many experts recommend using apps like Habitica or Streaks, which offer visual and functional incentives, motivating users to stay consistent with pleasure and dedication. Additionally, rewarding oneself for small achievements strengthens the process of self-discipline. Set symbolic rewards at the end of each week or after reaching a goal. For example, after completing a week of workouts, treat yourself to some leisure time, like watching a favorite movie. This strategy associates discipline with a pleasant experience, reinforcing the habit. Gradually, disciplined practice stops being seen as rigid and becomes a natural part of daily life, bringing a sense of well-being and fulfillment. Finally, stay focused on the larger purpose that supports your discipline. Whenever possible, remember why you started, envision the person you want to become and the impact that commitment will have. Over time, discipline will become your ally in building a fulfilling and accomplished life. Now is the time to take the first step, confident that each small daily action brings you closer to your biggest goals. In this content, we explored the powerful combination of motivation and discipline, understanding that while motivation is the initial spark, discipline is the pillar that supports continuous progress. We saw how motivation can serve as an impulse, but it's discipline, built through small daily actions and clear goals, that leads to lasting results. By integrating these elements, you're on the right path to building a life aligned with your greatest purposes and achieving real growth. If you're ready to take the next step and deepen your self-knowledge and personal growth, check out the link in the description for more transformative content. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like to continue receiving exclusive insights and strengthening this journey together.